The top 10 ways educators can use digital twins to engage students. What we've learned: digital twin content that is performing well for museums. Evergreen content related to collection highlights. Stories about people, especially short-form video, 10 minutes or less. Content designed for children and families. Scavenger hunts and escape rooms. The future of museums in a post-pandemic world. Museums reported that next to social media, online services such as educational material are most popular, with online visitors followed by videos and films, viewing the collection, and behind-the-scenes materials. Motivators for cultural participation: having fun, interest in the content, experiencing new things, feeling less stressed, learning something new, feeling inspired, interacting with others, feeling transported, feeling welcome, gives life a deeper meaning, connecting to my community, bettering health and well-being, grew up participating, and being able to go by myself. Characteristics of an ideal cultural activity: it's got to be social, interactive, lively, hands-on, active, calm, immersive, and reflective. Do digital offerings expand access to culture? What makes digital culture valuable? Almost all the online activities I tried provided a sense of community and a strange kind of intimacy. There was a sense of being connected with the world outside my house and the grocery store. Other insights from teachers include: there are an increasing plethora of XR experiences out there, some good, some poor. Part of the better educational experiences out there are those that are user-driven. Teachers want to facilitate meetings with institutional experts, immerse their students in engaging AR, VR content, and access online resources to deploy inside the classroom. The top 10 ways educators can use digital twins to engage students. Number 1, give them agency and digitize their artistic expression. Number 2, show them how to monetize their artistic expression. Number 3, virtual scavenger hunts and escape rooms. Welcome to the 2053 Harriet Tubman Escape to Freedom experience. This virtual escape room will last an hour, including a reflective discussion at the end. The year is now 2053, and African American wealth has fallen to 0. According to Sean Rochester, systematic oppression and bias in housing, healthcare access, and educational opportunities, as well as employment and wage inequality, have combined to make retirement insecurity a pressing issue for Blacks. Anti-Black bias manifests itself in the form of discriminatory behavior that results in a quantitative economic cost, which has an intergenerational effect on Black Americans at all levels and dramatically increases retirement insecurity. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find the consciousness of Harriet Tubman, a legendary conductor on the Underground Railroad who secured freedom for herself and her family. Upload her memories, triumphs, and secrets to freedom. Listen to her voice. Learn her history to secure financial freedom in your time. As always, should you or anyone from your group be caught and captured, the VR collab will disavow any knowledge of your actions. This video will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck.
This is the Thompson Farm or Thompson Plantation. This is where Harriet and her mother and father were enslaved. This is the place where she came back countless of times to rescue family and friends. Now, her objective at first was her family, her mother and father, and her brothers and sisters that remained. She had already had 2 sisters sold south, but she did make a journey during the holiday season of Christmas to come back and rescue her brothers. She would come back to this very location, down this very lane, to make this escape. Now, her father, Ben, who at this time was still a very important black man in this area, he ran a sawmill not far away from here. He was very, very well thought of by his owner at the time, Dr. Thompson. So he would be what you would call a supervisor in today's terms, but of course without the recognition. At this very lane, she would come down, go up to the big house, hide in the corn crib, which is still on the property, waiting for the correct time or the proper time to leave. Also, in her last journey here, she would rescue her father and mother. And there's a picture that Mark Priest has done with her on a 1-axle cart and her mother and father leaving this place. Now, she would leave from here, Pennsylvania, New York, and she would extremely go up to Canada, because at this time, the fugitive slave law was enacted. That means even Pennsylvania and New York wasn't even free. That meant the people could come, the slave catchers and different ones could come to New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and grab you and take you into bondage and sell you down south. They wouldn't know where you came from, but all their job was to just gather up as many emancipated people or free people as they could and take them down south and sell them for a profit. This jewel of a place right here at the very lane when Harriet Tubman came up is very special because of the simple fact this is where the journey began. This is where it all started. This is where she came back to several times to help along with the freedom seeking. So the Thompson Farm would be owned by a wealthy doctor, Dr. Anthony Thompson. He would be the person that owned Ben, Harriet, and the children. She would escape from here on her first journey and then to the mill and to the Leverton house on the way to journeying for freedom.
Number 4, in-person scavenger hunts and escape rooms at the museum. Number 5, use augmented reality to bring museum exhibits, archives, and objects into the classroom. Number 6, use virtual collaboration tools inside the digital twin.
You were having to kind of use a few different screens and switching between PowerPoint and 3D Tour. And I thought this might make it a little bit easier for you to be able to go navigate. Well, number one, record the session. Be able to navigate through the museum. Of course, I'm navigating for us. But there's also, a way to do screen share as well.
Oh, okay.
Host up to 240 students per session. Number 7, use digital twin Mattertags to take a deeper dive into museum metadata.
Today, the Reginald F. Lewis Museum is presenting a digital reading of Frederick Douglass's famous speech, "What to the Slave is the 4th of July?"
Number 8, use digital twins to immerse students inside historic spaces.
This is the Webb cabin, belonged to a free black man by the name of James Webb. Now, the interesting thing about this location is that he was free and his wife and children were enslaved. They would have to leave this location from time to time to go to the actual owner of them in this area. Now, this is a one-room Hugh log home that has been restored. Actual location. This incredible house would house the family of James, his wife, and his 3 children. As you go inside, you will see the awesome hiding spot underneath the floor. Now, Mr. Webb was an Underground Railroad operative. This free African-American man would help along with the Underground Railroad system. And you feel a sense of urgency here. You feel a sense of protection here. You also feel the sense of terror here. Meaning that any time, day or night, your very freedom that you work for could be challenged at the stroke of a pen. Meaning, even though you were emancipated, didn't always guarantee your freedom for life. One wrong move, one thought, one action, one deed against this unfair, unjust system, slavery, would cause you your freedom.
Number 9, use digital twins to immerse students in the study of genealogy with Christopher Haley.
My current title is Director of the Study of the Legacy of Slavery in Maryland. I have been here for about 26 years. That program really began when a volunteer named Jerry Henson brought to my attention a court citation where an Aaron Salisbury was found guilty for aiding and abetting someone to escape. And so my thought with that was that this might have something to do with the Underground Railroad, because obviously anybody who's helping somebody escape is not going to necessarily tell anybody else what specifically they were doing beforehand or after. And if this one person is doing it, probably many others are doing it as well. And so at the Maryland State Archives, we keep records forever. We have focused on such primary documents such as runaway ads, as I mentioned, domestic traffic ads, the federal census, freedom papers, which break down really into being certificates of freedom and manumissions, and also one could include within that land records and wills. Because within both of those type documents, people could be freed. And all those are here at the Maryland State Archives for every county and jurisdiction, of which there are 24 in the state of Maryland. But there's been probably at least 100 or so individuals who helped me, volunteers, full-time staff, regular and contractual staff, fellows from the History Makers program out of Chicago, who have helped put this program together, who have helped lifted it up and kept it going. And because of their dedication, because of their passion, they kept looking into these records, these core records, and not for anybody that we already knew about, such as a Frederick Douglass or a Harriet Tubman or Henry Highland Garnett. It was for any individual, because what we are thinking is that if we go through all the runaway ads for, say, Montgomery County or for Baltimore City, where the Reginald Lewis Museum is, then we're not trying to pick out one individual. We're trying to find all the individuals who may have been involved in this, so that someone, as you said, years and years and years from now, may be able to find a record that speaks to their great-great-great-grandfather or their great-great-great-grandmother. Quite frankly, whether they were free or enslaved, or whether they were black or they were white.
Number 10, use digital twins to take virtual field trips. Tour 15 museums in 15 minutes. All of our digital twins have analytics and metrics on the back end, so you can track the amount of visits, plays, average time. You can even see who's in the digital twin in real time. This is Aaron Rice with the Virtual Reality Collaboration Lab. You can find us online at vrcolab.com or 443-244-0051.